What's up, y'all? Sacred mirror time. Okay, how my messages work, I share a little bit about my personal life, and then Mary Magdalene and the Ascended Masters channel through. So I'm a sacred mirror of you, you're a sacred mirror of me. That's how this quantum works, right? So if this message is showing up for you, there's likely something in it for you. On my last two videos have been about entity attachments. And Gypsy Love, thank you for asking this question. I think it was great, and I wrote out a response, but I was like, this is a wonderful video. So for a deeper response, she asked, if you are living your life like focusing on the positive, how are these thought forms attaching in? And I shared a little bit in my first video about entities that like I lived my life so much living in the positive, and then with like manifestation and kind of wondering like why things weren't working out for me. And then I was in this space of like, God, Source, Spirit, show me what I'm missing, because I didn't understand, because I was doing all the things and I was really working on my subconscious mind. And then I found my quantum energy healer teacher. And from what I've learned is that we hold distortions, lower vibrational energies, frequencies in the quantum field in our experience in many different ways and levels. These can show up in the physical body and the nervous system. Sometimes in sessions, I will see that, you took in your mother's trauma, distortions, energies in the womb, or you have a past lifetime with whatever trauma energy is prevalent that is now hooking into now, and we neutralize and release those energies. They can be parallel lifetimes that are bleeding into the now. They can also be the collective consciousness hooking into the now. They can be distorted beliefs that you had developed or taken in as a child that are still hooking in the subconscious mind. There's different layers of the subconscious. The subterranean is like very, very deep, where we don't always access that. It's like deeply subconscious, but it's playing in the background, right? And what's another one? Another level that I see, ancestral trauma shows up in our DNA, in our genetics. And if you think of it like animals that know where to go to the watering hole, what animals to stay away from, that is genetic memory that the animals hold. And we are animals, and we hold, science is finding 9 generations of genetic memory. So that is held in our cells, in our genetics, in our cellular memory. So if we have ancestors that have experienced, horrific things, those fears are held in our physical system energetically, and through the quantum energy healing sessions, we release those energies and neutralize them so they're not so heavy and dense in your quantum experience now. So that's what I've found, and how these entities or thought form attachments hook in, is these distortions are held in the quantum field where we are not conscious of. And you can think of it like, what is something that you have an irrational fear of? Like, I have an irrational fear of knives and being stabbed ever since I was little. My mom affirmed that for me, like ever since I was little. I even said when I was little, like, I'm really afraid of being stabbed. My mom was like, what? You're a child, like, why are you saying that? And in one of my sessions, I was stabbed to death in the stomach, and I always like sensitive of my belly button, and that's where I was stabbed. And it was with a person that was like a karmic influence in this lifetime. So, or like very afraid of cars, or whatever the distortion, however it shows up for you. Or if you're afraid of failure, you might have a past lifetime where you were ridiculed or taken advantage of, or it's the possibilities are literally endless, because the quantum field is endless, limitless, right? The amount of lifetimes we have is limitless. So it's like an onion and healing with an onion layers, right? Like, we're never going to be done, but different layers come up, and we are constantly growing and evolving and embodying more of our divine frequency in this now moment. And so being aware of where these distortions are can just bring so much power. Yeah, it's great. So I'm gonna see what Mary Magdalene and the Ascended Masters want to say about that. I thought that was a really great question. I hope that that is a sufficient answer and that it makes sense to you. I know it really clicked in for me when I started receiving the quantum healing from my teacher. In the first session, I was like, what are you doing? Because she wasn't talking when she was doing it, but I could feel things shifting and releasing and like getting lighter. And then she started to explain it to me, and she started to teach it to me and took me on as an apprentice. And I learned with her for about 2.5 years before I started doing it on my own. And it's wild. Like, it doesn't, when I first started doing it, it doesn't always make sense to me in my conscious mind. But do we fully understand the quantum field completely? No. But another thing that can happen is spells, curses, black magic, hexes. That's a level of distortion that other entities, energies, beings put on us and then affect our frequency. And I have removed those and seen a big difference. And those can be put on us from across the quantum timeline, sometimes all levels, and then many lifetimes back. So some of this work that we're doing is breaking very big, stuck energies. And it's really cool because we can do it. Like, we're not victims to this. It's just shedding conscious light awareness on it and shifting it. So, yeah, I'm going to see what the Ascended Masters want to say. Mary Magdalene. Clearing, removing any and all distorted light frequencies from the quantum field, all spaces, timelines, levels. Thank you. Calling in Mary Magdalene and the Ascended Masters, I fully step aside and allow you to channel through me fully and completely for this message. Hello. Yes, this was a wonderful question, and it is very a pivotal point in awareness for all of you here receiving this message, because Jody was very much in this energy of the questioner, where she thought that she was focusing on the positive and doing things right, like as you should for commanding your reality and manifestation and scripting your life, etc. But she was constantly in lack and constantly in a space of struggle and fight or flight. And she was really getting frustrated because it was very stuck for her, and these patterns felt like immense, insurmountable. And she did send out a prayer to us, and we led her to her teacher, which she did have a soul contract to work with and to learn this work, and immediately felt the shifting and understood and began to see where energy was stuck, trapped in different levels of the quantum. And when that energy is released, so when the energy is stuck, it feels like density in this area of the quantum, be it in your nervous system, a different timeline, a different space, curses, hexes. There's many different levels, possibilities. But when the energy is stuck, it's like, think of an energetic hook to that distortion experience. And a lot of times the soul, if it's a very traumatic experience, the soul holds on to that memory because it was so traumatic. So this is where the distortions hook in. And we also want to acknowledge that Jody didn't touch on, that the entities, thought forms, these are soul contract agreements, because these entities bring awareness to where there are distortions held. And go back to when the soul holds on to this trauma, the energy is held in your intricate system in the quantum field, and this energies attract and entities attract. And so when you bring these energies to neutral, you're releasing them and being more of your authentic self by releasing these energies. Then also the entities and you have soul contracts to have these connections, these experiences of distortion hooking in. And again, it is an experience for you to embody power more fully and completely and detach from these entities. A lot of the thought forms look like the negative self-talk telling you you're not good enough, you'll fail, you're ugly, you're fat, nobody loves you. Those storylines are these thought forms that hook in, that are connected to many different possibilities, potentials in the quantum field of where distortions were birthed in your soul journey experience. And we want to acknowledge there's many ways to clear these energies. What Jody does with the quantum healing is her own unique process. She learned with her teacher, but has also made it her own. And there are other modalities that you can use, whatever you feel guided to. That's what we encourage you to listen to, because you all are so unique. So if you feel called to work with Jody or in Jody's programs and with us, we encourage you to listen to that call. But if you feel called to a different practitioner who does something similar but a little bit different, of course it's their own energy channeling through that healing, then listen to that. Because it is simply just energy, matter, and a memory of that matter experience that is held in your quantum field, that is holding a lower vibrational frequency in your system that a lot of times your conscious mind is not aware of. And you can even do journaling and ask your super conscious self, your highest divine self, to show you where the energy is stuck. And sit in meditation and see what comes and ask how to clear it. See what you are guided to. That is another way you can work with it. The ways to clear it are limitless. There are so many different potentials and possibilities. Your intention is truly everything. We are going to keep this message short because Jody does have to get to bed. She was inspired to do this message and listened, and we are happy that she did. But we can tell that her physical vessel is tired. We love you, we love you, we love you. Thank you for being here. If you feel called to join us for the quantum session on Friday, the information will be provided by Jody. We love you. We're so proud of you. Until next time. All right, y'all. I hope that was clear. Let me know in the comments, because I don't know, I get it now, but it also is like, it's a lot. And I geek out on this stuff. I'm a part-time dork for sure. So I'm just, in the best way, I'm being silly. But if it doesn't make sense to you, just let me know, and I'd love to further explain as best I can. but hopefully that did. And all right, love you. Oh, if you feel called to join, the links will be in the bio, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.